And now to Nicaragua, where the crackdown on the Catholic Church continues. Independent media is reporting authorities arrested 2 priests and a pastoral collaborator over the weekend. This follows the expulsion of 7 other priests only days earlier. The vice president of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega's wife, said those clergy members arrived safely at the Vatican and were received by the Holy See. There are no other details. 2 other priests kidnapped in the past weeks are still missing. Vatican News reports that this is the 5th group of priests exiled from Nicaragua. And joining us now is Felix Maradiaga, human rights advocate and president of the Foundation for the Freedom of Nicaragua. Felix, good to be with you today. The Ortega regime is intensifying its crackdown on the Catholic Church. 2 priests arrested over the weekend, as we mentioned, 7 exiled and sent to Rome, and that's just in the last week. What more can you tell us about them?
Tracy, thank you so much for highlighting this important issue. It's very painful, not only for the Catholic community of Nicaragua, but for all Nicaraguans who are seeing an unprecedented crackdown and persecution of the Catholic Church. So far, the number of priests and religious figures forced into exile is 200. 46 of them have been forced into either the Vatican or other countries, and others were not allowed into the country. So we have officially more than 200 priests. What can we expect? I mean, it's hard to respond to that when we have the Diocese of Matagalpa, for example, with almost 60% of its entire religious members forced into exile. We need a more international pressure and awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're happy to hear that those 7 priests are safe in Rome, but they're living in exile. Explain to us what that means to them.
Well, it means, based on the propaganda of the regime, that they were, of course, accepted, by the Vatican, and they are physically healthy. But in practical terms, it means that these priests, instead of spending time in prison, as the regime actually wants, are forced into exile, and they're not allowed to return into the country. But we have 2 other priests who do not know about them.
Yeah, and Felix, I was going to ask you about that. The 2 other priests that were taken from the seminary. Do we know where they are right now, the ones who weren't sent to Rome?
We know about Father Fausto Frutos Valle. We don't know the other cases. Unofficially, they are in house arrest. But from a legal point of view, it's a technical disappearance because there are no charges against them. They have not committed any crimes, and there's no official information nor access to a lawyer. So they are officially disappeared.
As we mentioned, this is the 5th group of priests, 5th group, that is, the priests that have been exiled from Nicaragua since 2022. What is the Ortega regime's goal here, and what impact does this have on the church and the faithful?
Well, what the regime wants is a church that is completely quiet, and the church in Nicaragua has followed its a mission of being in the side of human rights. But they don't even want that. So it's not even a political activity, which, let me be very clear, the Catholic Church in Nicaragua has not involved itself into political matters. It's simply that they do not want any institution, because let's also remember that there are 11 members of the evangelical community in prison as well. So they don't want any voice of social justice in Nicaragua. And what they want, apparently, is a sort of a creation of an official church, because they have been pushing, and we know that on official channels, they want to push the church in Nicaragua to appoint bishops that have a sort of a closeness to the vision of the political regime of Ortega, to put it in light terms. They want to control the church, and they're not able to do so.
Well, we're going to stay on top of this. And Felix, thank you so much for coming on and for your insights. We appreciate it. God bless.
Thank you so much. Bless you.